I might be going to Tokyo at the end of March, and I'm not sure yet, but I haven't been to Tokyo in a billion years. I went when I was 15 for 2.5 months, and I went not knowing a single word of Japanese, maybe one, I don't know. As far as my experience goes, that was fine. It's very easy to get around Tokyo because the signage is very clear, and not many people will speak English, but if you can read a map, it's easy enough. However, I look back on that as such a wasted opportunity to practice a language, and when I got back from Japan the next 2 years of high school, I studied Japanese, none of which I remember. I'm doing this language by ear program, the Pimsleur version, hashtag not spawn. Basically, they teach you a little bit of language, and then you do these pretend conversations where the recording will be like, Nihongo wakarimasu ka? And then there's 4 seconds of silence, and you're like, skoshi wakarimasu! And it reminds me a lot of the experience of learning guitar, because I can remember, it's one thing to be able to respond to this program which is not listening to you, and it's another thing to be able to recall that language under the pressure of a native speaker, you know? And I don't think it's so much, people talk about the context. Obviously, within this program, you can kind of guess at what's coming at you, and in real life, anything could come at you. But a lot of it, I think, for me, is the fear of getting it wrong and, being afraid of embarrassing myself, of course. And it reminds me of learning guitar in that way, because it was one thing to practice a song well enough that you could play it all the way through, alone in your bedroom. And it was a totally another experience to play it for people. And I'd go into things feeling like, no, I got this song. Really, this time I've practiced it enough. And still hit a bunch of wrong chords, or have to stop and not start over, but start from where I left off. And I think it's really easy to feel discouraged by that, because you go into it with the assumption of, I should be good at this, I have learned this, and then when you fail at it, it feels very embarrassing. I mean, it doesn't probably for everyone. I did the guitar thing. I went to open mics where no one knew me, so to me, I'm like, whatever. It's fine. No one's going to remember this. And advice I give to beginners for learning guitar is to practice performing in front of people, and to think of performing as practice instead of thinking of it as a button on your practice. Does that make sense? Because performing in itself is a skill. So think about how many times you had to practice your first song for your first time before you could play it all the way through. Maybe 100 times. That's not unrealistic if it's the first song you've ever learned. With that in mind, why would you be hard on yourself when you performed badly when you've only performed 4 times? Why would you be good at something you've done 4 times? Of course you wouldn't be. Have a little compassion and a little grace for the fact that you've done something 4 times and you're still bad at it. That makes sense, because the act of performing in front of people is its own skill that you need to practice. And the only way to practice is by doing it. Boo! And I'm trying to step into that with the language, but I know within me, I know at times in my life when I've, within high school, been a little better at Japanese, been completely unwilling to engage in it with people who either speak it well or are native speakers, because I'm like, I'm an idiot, I know nothing. I don't know. Yeah, I just had the thought today that if I continue with this program and I do end up going to Japan, I need to be okay with the idea that speaking it to native speakers is not the culmination of all my practice. It's more practice. It's practicing performing under pressure. So, under pressure. Oh, blah. Yeah, there's my thought for today. I'm on tour right now in the UK. What? This is my first time touring in the UK, guys, and I'm opening for an amazing artist, Bry, who just had his record come out. Come see us play. You like it. Okay. Later. Or should I say, じゃあまた?
Woof.
Not immediately being amazing at things is the worst.